I'll make it clear. You can write this down. I want to fuck a woman as a horse. None of this is a secret. To be clear, many jokes have been made about this, but I stand by it. My moral principles are rock solid. My feet are firmly planted in the ground. I've got my boots up. They're planted firmly. You cannot move me from my position. This isn't a secret. Let's talk to a therapist. Well, why do you want to be the horse, Vaush? Because then I'd have a giant dick. Okay, couldn't you have a big dick the other way? Well, yeah, I could. I could have a big dick hypothetically in any variety of scenarios, but then it wouldn't really be a horse dick. Well, you could be a human with a horse dick. Yes, but then I wouldn't have that powerful stallion energy using it. There you go. That's it. That's the whole thing.
I'm not even really sure how to respond to this. A part of me just wants to stare at the camera and let it run for about 5 minutes and just end it and let that be the entire video. I don't really know much about this man. I've heard the name Vaush before because I know Hassan and Destiny and some of these other people that do different kind of talking content or political type stuff. And I've heard his name brought up in the past. Never seen him before this, never knew anything about him. But this just happened to be on Twitter one morning. I woke up, scrolled a little bit, came across this, retweeted it, and said you never know what you're going to find when you're rolling through Twitter. And apparently this is attached to a lot more crazy shit that I'm not really familiar with. So I'm just going to use the term alleged because it claims that there's alleged child stuff involved with this man and with this clip. And apparently he was trying to save something on his computer while he was live streaming or doing something, and it popped up his folders. And amongst them were images of like young anime characters with horses or something like that. I didn't want to do much research because I don't want this shit popping up on my computer. I ain't trying to be on no list. I don't know what's happening with this man, but that's what I'm reading and I'm hearing about and stuff like that. And it's just crazy. I mean, this alone, this clip by itself is absolute madness to me. Like, I didn't know people felt this way, but I guess I do know that there's like some odd individuals out there. And hey, listen, if you have this urge, I guess as long as you keep it legal and you're just, I don't know how this works, right? Like, because bestiality is illegal if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like even trying to look up anime stuff regarding it has to not be legal, right? I don't really know how that works, but especially if they're young characters, you should probably stay away from that. So I don't know. Like sometimes I sit back and I just wonder how we get here. Like how did we actually get here? And why is it that it seems like a lot of people that are popular have a lot of these like alleged things around them, and for some reason they just remain popular? Like part of me starts to think that there's just a lot of dumb people in the world, which I already know that that's the case. But then I also start to wonder, like, are there just this many like really odd individuals that are into stuff like this? And so they're like, yeah, nothing wrong with it. It's totally normal. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a horse and smash some girl? Like, yeah, I don't really know. Like, I feel like, so this comes from a few different places, in my opinion, at least. Like, it could just be that you just have some really odd, weird kinks in life, I guess, if that's even what you would call it. I don't know. But it's also like, it makes me wonder, because we've had a discussion before on some other videos when it comes to watching sexual content, I guess we'll call it. I don't know, like the P word sometimes gets you flagged when you go on the hub, right? And you're watching these different videos. And I've heard that there's like, people that you watch it so much, you become so obsessed with it that you start looking for crazier and crazier shit, because it's almost like a drug, right? Like you could become addicted to it. So it's something where you start to look for something else that's going to spark some kind of feeling in you because you've seen it so often that it just doesn't do it anymore for you. Or there's times where people watch so much of it that they have a hard time getting hard and having sex with actual women because they're so used to watching it, right? So I don't know if he's one of those people that just went down this path of addiction and he's to the point now where he's just like, I want horses. It just sounds and feels so weird to say. Or if this is just something that he's always felt, like ever since he came into puberty, he just drove down the street one day on the countryside, saw a horse and was just like, damn, I wish I could be one of those and just give a girl back shots. Like, I don't know. I don't know where this comes from necessarily. Like, I'm not going to say that I haven't been an avid watcher in my life of sexual content. I definitely have. But for me, I'm just a very vanilla individual. Like, I don't want no tying up. I don't want no weird shit. Like, I don't want none of that. Just the basics. I just want the basics if I'm going to watch. And it's always been just the basics. So apparently I've never been a watcher to the point where it's like, I need more. So that's a good thing. I'm very happy about that. Never interrupted my actual sexual life. All that's good. So I feel like it doesn't make sense that it would bring you down a path like that, but I've read about it, right? Like I've read about it in research of different videos that we've done and stuff. And it just makes me wonder if he's one of those people. And I feel like there's always just some oddities when it comes to these people that do these political streams and stuff like that. And why, I don't know why, but it just seems like politics in general is tied up with a lot of like weird people. It just comes across that way to me. I don't know. It just, from the outside looking in, and then, like we said, we got the whole island thing and all these people in positions of power and stuff like that. And it just makes you wonder, like, are there more people that are into some of this really weird shit than there's not? And people just obviously don't want to talk about it because they know that it's looked at in a certain way. But then it's like, if there's more than there's not, then it's like, technically y'all run shit. Like you could just say and do whatever, and there's going to be enough to support you. Right. I don't know. To me, at first, I thought this was just a video about a man wanting to be a horse. And I thought that was weird enough, and I wasn't really going to make a video about it. Although I thought about it because I'm just like, it's just an interesting concept. It's an interesting thing to discuss. I mean, does anybody out there think like, yo, I want to be a beaver and like dive in that pussy? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be a mouse and just sneak in real quick. Like, is this a thing that people think about different animals, or is it just a horse because horses are just built, you know what I'm saying, to just destroy things in multiple ways? I don't really know. I would assume that there's probably more of that than the other stuff, but it makes me feel like there's probably all sorts of shit, right? I mean, we've seen videos of people that like eating rocks, or like they have like those weird, I guess you wouldn't call it like a fetish because it's not a sexual thing, but they have weird things that they eat or they do to themselves, or you know what I'm saying? So I guess this just kind of falls in line with that. And I don't know where it comes from. It's just odd. It's almost like maybe as humans, we were not meant to evolve like the brains that we have, because it's almost like we're bored to the point where we just start to go down these weird paths, at least some of us, and just have weird wants and thoughts and stuff like that, because it's like we're bored. Like we have nothing else to do with our time. We sit inside, we watch videos. Life is pretty plush, not for everybody. Obviously, there's certain parts of the world that are in absolute horrible conditions, and I feel for those people, but a lot of us, especially us in America, are kind of like, just what am I going to do with my life? I'm sitting around, like, and don't get me wrong, we have to work and shit like that, but then your free time, you're comfortable, right? Like food is available, it's accessible. We don't have to have the hunter-gatherer mindset. We don't have to like really, as long as we're working, at least worry about like a place to stay that's going to be warm, that's going to be cool in the summer. And like, we can kind of afford those things. And then it's just like, okay, so what do I do with all this brain power now that I've created that was supposed to keep me, alive, the survival aspect of it and stuff. And then we start to just say, you know what? I want to have a woman as a horse. I don't, listen, I'm done. I'm going to be real with you. I don't even know where to take this anymore. This is just very odd to me. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of like some odd shit that I like doing, but I can't think of it like off the top of my head. I like to eat Taco Bell. I've gotten fat a little bit lately. Like that's kind of like my thing. I watch YouTube videos. I like to watch Sidemen. If I do watch porn, which I'm not going to say that I don't, for those that don't know, we have a video where I bought a fleshlight. It's very interesting. Probably my favorite video that I've ever made. Most fun that I've ever had making a video. But it's like, I just want to watch basic stuff. Some back shots. It's probably about it. So I don't know. Like some people just, I guess, they go down a path. You should probably not go down those paths. You should probably try to avoid that. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think. I just thought that this was extremely interesting. I come across some of the wildest shit on Twitter, and it's probably why it's my favorite piece of social media. So I'll catch you in the next one, homies.